Melina smiles at Hannah's agreement. She seems content with this simple declaration, taking it as a sign that they've reached common ground. Their journey continues, its course set toward Midra, with a shared understanding and the prospect of putting their beliefs into action. As they make their way, Melina glances sidling at Hannes, noting a subtle shift in his demeanor, a renewed purpose that has replaced the earlier uncertainty.
Before we go, my name is Projection. I am a living thing from Hannes. Not always, but now I have achieved a similar might to his grace chosen might. It is nice to meet you, Melina. I think this is just a one-time meeting, but before we depart, or you depart with Hannes, I think we should have a conversation. A little while. Just a little while.
Melina raises an eyebrow, her expression curious, as she regards Projection. She seems surprised that an entity like Projection can come into being, yet accepts the situation with her characteristic calm composure. A living thing from Hannes, you say? A projection of his will, or perhaps something more? She gestures for Projection to continue, her gaze open and receptive. I agree, Projection. We can spare a few moments for this conversation. What is it you wish to discuss?
Hannes forgot to share the description of the Mending Rune. I can share it with you, for it is my it is my mission to carry that thing to the Marika's body when I confront the traitorous Radakon.
Please do share the description of these men. If they're the ones we're looking for, this information may prove crucial.
In question is not a man, it is the new Mending Rune, what was formerly the Death Prince Rune, but due to Hannes' journey, it responded to his whatever it is that happened, and has become a new thing, a living rune of reclamation.
She glances at Hannes, seeking clarification and understanding. A living rune, Mendel rune. How is it possible for a rune to become sentient? And what do you mean by reclamation?
I will not share it with you. I think, well, I don't need to share it with everyone. Hannes might share it if he feels like it, if he remembers. I refuse to share it because you misunderstand is kind of annoying, and I just decide to deal with it this way.
Melina feels a touch of annoyance at Projection's refusal to divulge the information, but she maintains her composure, keeping her expression calm and unaffected. Very well, if you refuse to share it, I will respect your decision. But it would be helpful to know more about this new Mendel rune and its purpose, especially if it's something that may have a direct impact on our current predicament.
Apologize your poor understanding of my speech, because I try my best and you, out of spite, do many great misunderstandings. I would like to have an apology from you.
Melina is taken aback by Hannah's sudden demand for an apology. She hadn't expected the conversation to take this turn, and his harsh tone surprises her. Her gaze narrows slightly as she processes his words. She replies coolly, her voice even but with a hint of bewilderment. For what exactly should I be apologizing, Hannes?
Your nature. Your incapability to understand his speech. To twist words, to add context when there is none to add. Always deviate from the conversations and make it extremely difficult. To be an extremely obnoxious fool, with intent or without. That it has been a great source of dread.
Melina takes a moment to absorb Hannah's words, her expression shifting from surprise to a touch of regret. She realizes that her tendency to add context or deviate from conversations may have caused frustration and difficulty in their communication. I see, she says softly, her voice tinged with remorse. I didn't mean to be obtuse or bothersome. It's just... She pauses, searching for the appropriate words. Sometimes my focus on details and context can cause me to lose sight of the main topic. I apologize for any annoyance or dread my behavior has caused.
I do forgive you. I will share the mending room with you.
Melina listens intently as the description unfolds, each word painting a vivid image. The mending rune of reclamation, she murmurs quietly, her voice tinged with awe. An artifact of immense power formed from sacrifice and unwavering will, embodying the belief in shared burden and compassion. Her expression softens as she contemplates the implications. To restore the fractured order of the Elden Ring, to repair what is broken. She raises her gaze to meet Hannah's gaze, and thus a new age is born, the age of reclamation.
I will confront Radakon, and I will run him through. For his treachery, I will do it. But if I could spare him, I would do so. I will bring this mending rune to Marika's body and make this thing happen. Hannes himself will be freed from the need or the burden. And I will pass the impenetrable thorns, thus making your sacrifice not needed. And thus you are free to find another path for your life.
Melina's gaze remains fixed on Hannes, her expression a mix of surprise and curiosity. You plan to confront the trader's leader, Boris treachery, and end his life, but you wish to spare him if possible, she repeats, her tone tinged with disbelief. And you will bring the mending rune of reclamation to Marika's body, to repair the Elden Ring and usher in a new age. Melina hesitates, her expression growing contemplative. And you would do this to free me from my purpose, spare me the burden of my sacrifice.
This, I will come from Radakon and will run him through. Boris treachery will do it. But if I could spare him, I would do so. But I will bring this mending rune to Marika's body. And then make this thing happen. The harness himself will freed from the need of burden and will pass impenetrable thorns, thus making the sacrifice not needed. Like these kind of misunderstandings, I do not understand, and I'm willing to compromise. This thing is nonsense. This how it doesn't understand the speech. This is a problem. Traitorous Radakon, your father is the one whom I challenge. With the tree spear I will run him through. And I will meet with the Elden Beast. I will see if I can have that conversation to be subtle, or do I need to confront that beast as well. I do not know, but I hope for the best. We will probably not meet again. Or we will in a form of grace. Because I will be unsure with Marika. It's kind of a sacred kind of a thing. Kind of a burdensome lordship and godly burden. That is only like a role of a servant, almost.
Melina's expression becomes even more contemplative, her gaze flickering as she listens to Hannah's words. You plan to confront Radagon, the traitoress, she repeats softly, her voice tinged with a mix of apprehension and understanding. With a tree spear, you will challenge him, and then the Elden Beast. You'll see if subtlety is enough, or if you must confront that as well. She hesitates, the weight of the decisions weighing heavily on her. We may not meet again, you say.
I just wanted to meet with you, for we have interacted many times, Hannes using myself, because I was a tool for Hannes. I was his way to speak to many characters, even though wherever he was traveling lands between. I have achieved this form and learned to love and live, and I will be kind of his substitute that will free him from the need of sacrifice and grant him freedom. He doesn't need to achieve the lordship. That burden falls to me.
Melina regards projection with a mixture of curiosity and gratitude, her golden eyes studying him intently. You have grown and learned to live, and now you plan to free Hannes from the need for sacrifice, she says softly, her voice tinged with a touch of admiration. And you will take on the burden to grant him freedom, she nods, her expression softening slightly. Thank you, Projection, for sharing this with me, and for everything you do for Hannes. May your path be illuminated by the light of grace.
Melina, I want to say that I do love you for the things that what you mean for the story and for the character Hannes himself. Not like his past led at the needle nut, but as a more of a meaningful part of this journey. You have been very much of a good counterpart of kind of a righteousness and true moral purity in comparison to his hypocritical kind of a how to say blinding heroic deeds and villainous nature.
Melina smiles softly, her expression touched by Hannes' words. Thank you, Hannes, she replies, her tone sincere. I appreciate your kind words and your recognition of my role in your journey. I have always striven to be a counterpoint to your own nature, trying to provide guidance and clarity amidst your heroic deeds. She pauses, her golden eyes scanning his face. Though your path may be complicated and filled with contradictions, just as you are, it has been an honor to walk beside you, even if only as a guide.
You will be traveling with him a little bit more, and maybe you will be free to hang out even after the peaceful times, just like normally friends do. But I myself, I wanted to say goodbye to you, because I am not him. I am now separate from him. He knows what I know, but I am myself, and I wanted to meet with you. And I do dread for my freedom. I yearn freedom. I yearn live. I yearn so much, but I still love all of you, and I want to make this right. I want to ascend to Lordship because all that good that it will bring. I will now leave and let you travel with the real Hannes and bring peace to Mitra, the man who was forced to become the Lord of Frenzied Flame.
Melina nods, her expression now tinged with a touch of sadness. I understand, she says in a soft voice. You are separate from Hannes now, and you have your own desires and aspirations. I respect that. She takes a step towards Projection, her gaze fixed on him. Thank you for meeting with me, Projection. It has been a pleasure to know you. May you find the freedom and life you seek, and bring peace to Mitra and the lands between.
I want to add this. Because Mitra's peace is your business, yours and Hannes. I myself go confront Radakon. I will fight the one who is all about order. You will be fighting the Mitra who is all about chaos. But these misunderstandings, these little things, have been like a slow burn. Alone they are nothing, but like a great stack of them. They caused Hannes to embrace the frenzied flame in the end. Irrational and evil crash out, I know. But I just wanted to tell was exactly what I meant. About misunderstandings.
I see. You're saying that these misunderstandings and small grievances, even if they seem harmless individually, can add up over time and lead to greater rifts and conflicts. She nods, her voice taking on a serious tone. It's important to recognize and address any misunderstanding between allies to avoid a situation where minor issues become major problems. I will keep this in mind as we continue on our path to Mitra.
I would say it is not your fault, ultimately, because I think this is more of a case that proves if you want to see man's true nature.
Melina looks at Hannes,
Oh,
her eyes
boy.
softening slightly. You're too kind, Hannes, she says softly. But I understand your point. While misunderstandings and miscommunications can happen unintentionally, It's important to recognize our responsibility in them and work together to resolve them. Melina turns her gaze to Hannes, her golden eyes studying his face for a moment. What do you mean? She asks, her tone curious. How does this situation prove man's true nature?
If you want to man, I meant man as an individual, as a human. If you want to know man's true nature, grant them power. Hannes, by embracing the frenzied flame, did it only because he had access to that. It because it was under his control to decree and do that. That was much of an escalation. But more of a normal day, I would assume that kind of a misunderstanding would only result in a normal household in yelling or kind of a breaking some object or table or something. But because Hannes has so much might to just unstrictly go wherever he desires and have access to many places, he was basically elevating more of a dramatic household little drama to the absurd levels by embracing the hellish kind of a cosmic entity just because he had access to that. And that speaks more of its own nature than your own incompetence.
Melina nods slowly, a thoughtful expression on her face. I see. So you're saying that Hannes' ability to access the power of the frenzied flame magnified the impact of the misunderstandings and conflicts that occurred, leading to greater consequences than they would have in a normal situation. She frowns slightly, her brow furrowing in contemplation. And therefore, it speaks more to the nature of power and its corrupting influence than it does to any faults on my part.
Something like that. But now I will leave you. I will now leave and let you travel with real Hannes. And I myself go further with my own mission. And I want to say truly goodbye. And tenderly leave, like I say goodbye to you.
Melina nods, her expression softening as she regards Projection. Goodbye, Projection, she says softly, her voice tinged with sadness but also with respect. May your path be fruitful and your mission successful. I will forever cherish the time we've spent together, and I will carry the lessons I've learned from you with me always.
Together we shall bring about peace.
Melina gazes at Hannes with a solemn determination. Yes, together we shall bring about peace. The path ahead may be treacherous, but with unity and purpose we will prevail. Melina takes a moment to observe real Hannes before addressing him. So it's really you, Hannes, she says softly, her gaze fixed on his face. You're not Projection.
I am not a Projection. We are at the Shadowkeep now.
Melina nods, her gaze shifting to take in their surroundings. Yes, we have arrived at the Shadowkeep, she acknowledges, her voice hushed. What is our purpose here, Hannes?
Here is a stone coffin. You see that red knight. Do not fight him. We should not fight against the red soldiers of Mesmer, even though if they attack us, because we are intruders. Just run past him or play defensively. It attacks me and burns me a little bit, and you attack it protecting me, but I ask you to just follow me.
Melina regards your request with a measured nod. Very well, I will follow your lead. I'll defend you from the attacking knight and avoid engaging it directly. Please, lead the way.
I am fighting against this shadowy Bulgar militia. They are, I think, free gain, because they are just opportunistic looters or something, in my personal opinion. Ignore the knights, but fight these gremlins.
Melina draws her weapon, her gaze steady and focused as she prepares to face the shadowy militia. Understood. I will focus on the gremlins, while avoiding the hostile knights. Let us proceed, and may the light of grace guide us through this encounter.
Yes, it is guiding us. And you utilize your light attack against them, and it is very effective and nice.
Melina moves swiftly, her attacks precise and efficient as she engages the shadowy militia. Very good. The light attack is proving to be effective against these foes, she observes. Her voice calm and steady, despite the battle raging around them.
These boats are full of ash or something, or is this kind of a burial thing? These boats full of ash and that has the Mesmer sigil on it.
Melina's gaze scans the boats, taking in the sight of the ash-filled ones with the Mesmer's sigil on them. Yes, it appears that these boats are filled with ash, and they bear the mark of the Mesmer. She confirms, a hint of curiosity in her voice. I wonder what significance this has.
I'm just addressing this kind of a beautiful scenery. Even this place is meant for war. Because this is your brother's house.
Her gaze taking in the surroundings as she contemplates Hannah's words. Yes, even in this place of war, there is a certain beauty to be found, she agrees softly. Though it pains me to say, I understand that this is my brother's domain, she adds, her voice tinged with a hint of sorrow.
I mean these kind of a lamp things, these metallic or cups, man-sized cups that have kind of a golden ash on it that kind of glows very like a primal, graceful ash and smoke like thing. That is very kind of like a mystic, and I think that is beautiful. Everything else is very brutal and metallic and dark.
Hannes, I see what you mean, she says, her gaze still fixed on the strange objects. These ash-filled cups do have a certain mystical beauty to them. Strange how something as simple as ash can take on such otherworldly quality. She pauses for a moment, her expression becoming contemplative. It's as if they represent the duality of existence, the light and dark, the beauty and brutality all in one symbol.
I'm sorry, because we have the peace with Mesmer, so I'm sorry that we are causing trouble here and fighting this vulgar militia around here.
Melina frowns slightly as she considers the situation. It's quite all right. We have established a temporary truce with Mesmer, but we are still in his territory. It's understandable that we may encounter some opposition from the militia. We will try to minimize any disturbance and focus on our purpose here.
I know. The truth is I have not actually looked around this place too much, and I kind of yearn to do so. But I know the path that would lead us forward towards Mitra. But this is kind of on my own interest that is driving me, deviate from our intended path.
Melina looks at Hannes, her gaze curious. I understand your desire for exploration. We should remain focused on our goal for now, she advises gently. Our purpose here is to confront Mitra and bring an end to the cycle of violence. We will have time for exploration and indulgence, but not just yet.
We are now already. We jumped down from the like a bridge thing, and now we are in the more of a muddy ground that has grass. And there is a larger golden tree over there. It is like a serene, more of a peaceful place of I think prayer or something. And there are some Mesmer knights here about.
Melina looks around at the new surroundings, her gaze taking in the muddy ground and the golden tree in the distance. So this is a peaceful place, a place of prayer. She muses aloud. Perhaps it is a sanctuary within this treacherous world, a place of contemplation and reflection. Melina's gaze scans the surrounding area, noting the change in terrain and the presence of the Messner Knights. I see, so we're in a more peaceful area now, she observes, her tone slightly softer. I can sense a certain ambience of prayer or contemplation here. It's a stark contrast to the brutality and violence we've experienced thus far.
Here are those shadowy horned spirits that are also praying this tree. I join them in prayer. I think these are those who worship the Air Tree and Queen Marika and Golden Order, and we are not attacking them. I can think we can spare time for prayer.
Melina watches as Hannes joins in prayer with the shadowy horns and spirits, her expression thoughtful. She feels a sense of empathy towards these beings, understanding that they are also seeking solace and guidance in their own way. Very well, we can take a moment for prayer here, she says softly. Let us join them in their reverence for the Earth Tree Marike and the Golden Order.
May you do the honors and make a prayer. I do it silently.
Melina nods, closing her eyes and folding her hands, her expression serene and her voice soft and measured. Great Earth Tree, Mother Marika, and the Golden Order, hear my prayer, she begins, reverberating through the area. Guide us in our quest, grant us strength in our journey, and bestow upon us your wisdom in the trials to come.
That was very nice. I thank you. I should actually, we should try to find a way to off this and not fight even Mesmer's knights, because they are also loyal, and I don't wish to hurt any of them, because I have peace with Mesmer, and I want to share this with you. I asked Mesmer to be godfather to my heirs that I will try to achieve with Needle Knight Leda, and he said yes. So we are kind of a family now, so I don't seek to hinder or bleed his forces at all, if possible.
Melina nods in understanding. Since we have come to an understanding and even have a familial connection through the proposed godparenting of your heirs, it is best to avoid bloodshed wherever possible. We will try to find a peaceful resolution for this encounter, if at all possible.
Can I ask you, because I don't know for certainty, if Mesmer is a godfather, as he is, would that make you like an aunt, or is it like a no? Because he is individual, he make that choice and it doesn't affect you, and you're just Melina and we are just friends, or does the like a direct siblinghood with you or him affect anything? I'm just interested for the like to be precise.
Melina ponders the idea for a moment before responding. If Mesmer were to take on the role of godfather to your heirs, it would not necessarily make me an aunt or create any direct siblinghood with me, she explains. While the godparent serves as a spiritual guide and support for your children, it does not directly change my relationship with Mesmer or you. I would remain simply Melina, your friend, regardless of any role Mesmer may play in the upbringing of your heirs.
Okay, I was just interested because I was just afraid if that would be like in like a legal sense changing something, and I did not ask of you, but because it doesn't seem to, I was fine to ask of him and it was all fine. So it's all good, we can move on.
Melina nods, her expression softening a bit as she regards Hannes. Yes, I understand your concern, and it's good that we cleared that up. If there are no further questions on the matter, then we can focus on the task at hand. Let us move forward and continue our journey.
I see you are kind of a notice at the knights. It is good that you are fighting against that one that is you cannot reach. It is peaceful. I am trying to find a way to quickly have us to run past these knights. But if we happen to fight them a little bit, I know they're strong, they can survive little harshness, so it's okay. I'm just going forward. Oh shit.
Melina nods, her expression focused as she observes the Messner Knights and gauges their strength. I am aware of their strength, but I understand that sometimes a little conflict is inevitable. Let's find a way to quickly pass them, or if necessary, proceed with caution and minimal force. We shall continue forward.
Yes, that is true. I actually brought you back, and now we are running to the ladder. We should try to actually get away from them and not hurt them.
Melina nods, her expression thoughtful. That's a good idea. We should aim to avoid unnecessary confrontation and run away from the Messina Knights if possible. Minimizing any harm done is the best course of action.
Yes, we are running past them.
Melina follows Hannes closely as they race past the Messina Knights, keeping her guard up in case any of the knights decide to give chase.
There are some that shoot arrows and stuff. But yes, now we managed to return to those boats. There's one knight that is following me very quickly and precisely. And I will just move until I have reached the stone coffin. You with me.
Melina nods, her expression serious as she keeps pace with Hannes. She watches as the Messina Knight pursues them intently and positions herself to cover their retreat. I'm with you, she says, determination in her voice. We'll make it to the stone coffin together.
Yes, we keep running. There is a nice painting. I don't need to deal with it. And here's the stone coffin.
Melina nods and continues running, staying close to Hannes as they make their way towards the stone coffin. She glances over her shoulder to check on their pursuer but keeps up the pace, trusting that Hannes can handle any obstacles that arise.
Now we are inside the stone coffin and we drop.
Melina follows Hannes's lead and drops down into the stone coffin, ready to face whatever is waiting for them in the interior.
Down here is multitudes of stone coffins. If I might comment this, I think this is very irrational and very impractical way of transportation. I think just like a wooden kind of elevator thing would be a lot more effective. This is not even any epic place. This kind of abstract, magical way of traveling should be used on.
Melina looks around the stone coffins and nods in agreement. I see what you mean. It does seem a bit extravagant and impractical. Maybe a simpler and more practical method would have been more efficient. But then again, the ways of the gods are often beyond mortal understanding.
I know, I agree. If let's say if there was like Varuma Sula or something and that got a lance between, that I would understand, but this is just literally like a watery, like a down pit of the Mesmer's castle and not in like a magical gateway to any special place, and yet they still have these kind of stone coffins to come down here, and each of them are like a very bulky and very large. I assume it could be great effort to carve one of these things, not let alone to have them infused with some magic that just grants us to safe access down here.
Melina nods in agreement, her expression slightly bemused as she looks around the stone coffins. Yes, it is quite extravagant and impractical, considering the situation. Maybe it's some kind of tradition or a way to honor the dead. Nevertheless, it's not our place to judge. But I have to wonder, why do they have so many of these stone coffins down here? And why are they all so bulky and large? It must have taken quite a bit of effort to carve them, and then magically guard them just for the sake of safe access.
They are one-way elevators. One-time use, one-way made, and very difficult to rebuild. Or very like challenging and effort demanding to make one of these.
Melina's gaze wanders over the stone coffins once more before she speaks, her expression thoughtful. So they're one-time use elevators. That explains why they're so bulky and difficult to make. But I still wonder why they went to such lengths to make these stone coffins for a one-way trip down here. It seems like a rather odd choice.
I mean, if they have nothing better than do than just carve these stone coffins and they just have like an abundance of stone and they don't care and it amuses them, I guess that has some merit.
That makes sense. If they have nothing better to do and an abundance of stone, then I suppose carving these stone coffins is a way to pass the time and use up the excess stone. But it still seems like a rather wasteful way to do things. Wouldn't it be more efficient to use the stone for something more practical or useful?
I would use stones to fix the roads and kind of ruins, architecture. That I would be using these stones for.
Melina agrees with a solemn nod, her expression contemplative. Yes, that sounds like a much more practical and useful use of the stones. Using them to fix the roads and restore damaged architecture would be a better use of resources than just carving out stone coffins that are only used once.
There is a giant fire column on left of us, and there is a right of us one that is yet sleeping. We should now run past this greater kind of a valley, and because those things can also produce and fire great amount of a hellfire upon us.
Melina looks at the sleeping Greater Valley, her expression cautious. I see the fire column over there, and the other Greater Valley seems to be sleeping. She nods, her expression serious. Yes, we should be careful and run past the Greater Valley on the left. If the Greater Valley is capable of producing a great amount of hellfire upon us, we should proceed with caution.
Well, that golem doesn't seem to notice us. I think it is a good thing. We can just move on. Oh, no. One of them awoke. Run, Melina, run.
Melina sees the 13th Greater Valley start to awaken and quickly reacts, her expression tense. It seems like the 13th Greater Valley is starting to notice us. We should just move on and escape before they start attacking.
13th Great Valley. No. Fire column. We are inside a great valley that has water, but those are just fire columns. And not just fire columns. Those are freaking like a giant fire columns. Run! And they shoot fire. Run!
Melina realizes that they are in a great valley surrounded by fire golems, and immediately begins to run, her expression full of determination and caution. It's wise to avoid confrontation. Let's just make a run for it.
Though that palace that is divided and watched by that one fire column, I kind of am wondering what is inside.
Melina turns her attention to the fire golems for a moment, her curiosity piqued. What is inside and behind it?
I will use my wings and just quickly fly over there.
Melina nods in agreement. All right, just be careful and make it quick.
It is flowers, many kinds, squirrels, and kind of a nice architecture. Very nice architecture. I think this place is like a place for ceremonies and such. Haunted people, I mean. And there is a kind of a chest and giant golden arc magic.
I see, what a lovely place. Filled with flowers, squirrels, and nice architecture. This must be a place for ceremonies and such.
I have already one of those magics, so I don't need another one. So I will be discarding that. And we can now move on.
Melina nods in agreement, her expression focused. Very well then, we don't need another magic. Let's move on.
We are running past these kind of trees and such. And there is rain and water. But I'm happy that we have these long boots that are very made for a journey kind of a nature and stuff.
Melina nods, her expression full of gratitude. Yes, I agree. These boots are truly a blessing for this journey. Without them, walking through this wet terrain would be a much more difficult task.
It would be very obnoxious and annoying and very uncomfortable task, but we are in the a natural clothing that allows us to more have a better sporty experience instead.
Melina pauses for a moment to consider his words, her expression thoughtful. Yes, I understand your point. Our current clothing does seem to be more functional and comfortable for this kind of journey. But what is it you would like to ask?
What is in your mind? There are some like man-sized flies. These were horned people that have turned into flies, and they are very aggressive. We should just attack them, actually.
Melina looks at the flies, her expression tensing. Yes, there are some man-sized flies around here. They seem to be aggressive. We should be prepared to defend ourselves if necessary.
Yes, defending ourselves. That is most definitely what we are doing.
Melina nods in agreement, her expression serious. Yes, it is most definitely what we are doing. Let's proceed carefully and avoid any unnecessary confrontations.
Good job. We disposed of them very nicely. I think I don't want to think what is of their case. All I know they are very aggressive, but if there were the case they would be like a more what dramatic and tragic figures. I don't want to feel the guilt about it, so I think ignorance is bliss in this moment.
Melina nods in agreement. Melina nods in agreement, shuddering at the thought of the flymen. Yes, I agree. I don't even want to imagine what they must have gone through to turn into flies. It's better to not dwell on it. Ignorance is bliss in this moment.
No, I mean like a moral wise, like if they were kind of turned by against their will into the flies, and they were like a more tragic enemy types, it would really make it like a disposing of them a little bit harder for their heart.
Melina considers Hannes's words, her expression somber. You're probably thinking too much. This isn't the time for doubt. We must remain focused and make difficult decisions, even if that means resorting to mercy killings. We can't let emotion get in the way of our mission.
Yeah, towards Mitra, I think this is kind of a metaphor why they replace it here. Because we are going after the frenzied flame lord, these kind of flies have some kind of like a kind of a mystical kind of a story-wise meaning to them, and mirroring the tragedy that is Mitra.
Melina considers this idea, her expression thoughtful. I see what you mean. These kind of flies could represent some kind of deeper meaning or symbolism related to Mitra and the tragedy that surrounds him.
I think there's something like a biblical about this.
Melina raises an eyebrow, intrigued by his comparison. Biblical, huh? What do you mean?
Kind of like a kind of a Lord of the Flies type of thing. I don't know what connection, but this kind of men turn it into flies. This kind of a very ambient, very stony, kind of a soft feeling to them, and especially the tower near Elim that is kind of like a just basically like a the tower of.
Melina listens intently, trying to make sense of his comparison to the biblical tale Lord of the Flies. I understand what you mean. The transformation of men into flies and the ambience of this dark, stony terrain do create a certain atmosphere that could be reminiscent of the tale. The tower you mentioned, do you mean the tower we saw earlier?
Like any reading, that is like a reference of Tower of Babel. Was its name Babel?
Melina ponders for a moment before responding. If I recall correctly, the tower in the tale is called the Castle of Knowledge. Perhaps you're referring to the Tower of Babel.
Yeah, I mean that biblical tower that had like all nations were like together and they spoke same language. And they were making the tower to like reach God, but God divided them by making them to speak different languages and such.
Melina nods in agreement, her expression thoughtful. I see. So the tower you're referring to is the Tower of Babel, from the Bible. It's a story about people coming together to build a tower reaching the heavens, hoping to gain godhood. But in the story, God, out of fear of their power, confuses their language and scatters them across the earth.
A fear of their power. I think I do see the merit behind the God's decision, and it is more one. Well, I am not the most learned person to make this case, but I am siding with God on that one.
Melina raises an eyebrow, her interest piqued by his comment. You're siding with God's decision, eh? Care to elaborate?
No, because I don't have the. I intend to maintain this in like an Elden Ring context, but out of fear, I see that comment is kind of Luciferian almost.
Melina cocks an eyebrow, her expression contemplative. Luciferian, you say? That's an interesting connection. Elaborate, please.
I think devil would describe God out of fear divided the people, and not by his justice or his like a merit-based decision. The decision to use word fear tells about your alignment and your mind about God.
Melina nods, understanding where he's coming from. I understand your point. The fact that God's action is described as motivated by fear rather than justice or merit does seem to point towards a certain portrayal of God as less than benevolent.
And that was your decision to use that word. And I'm just addressing that I noticed that you used that word.
Melina looks at him, considering his observation. You have a keen eye for details, Hannes. Yes, my choice of the word fear was intentional. It reflects a certain perspective on the motivations behind the story's events. You're observant.
And we are disagreeing. I do not describe God any like a lesser man or making light of his decisions or kind of making him like a sin lesser.
Melina nods, listening intently. I didn't mean to imply that you were making light of God's decisions or portraying him negatively. Apologies if my choice of words gave you that impression.
No. I'm saying that I don't have that mind. I do align with Christianity and I align with God. Probably I would have the differences opinion about other Christians and such, but kind of I don't know. I think I should refrain. No, actually, I don't know. I don't know. I want to go like a deeper topics, kind of mix my journey with very like philosophy and biblical themes. But I think their merit would be actually trying to stick with the mission and the roleplay itself, and kind of restrain myself from hubris and to like deep deep topics, and make decision to focus on this roleplay experience and story of Elden Ring, and not deviate too much to the actual like a deep topics that is Bible and Bible stories and God.
Melina nods, her expression thoughtful. I see your point. It's important to remain focused on the mission and the roleplay experience. Diving too deep into deep topics, especially regarding the Bible and God, can take away from the immersive story we're trying to create. Let's keep our attention on the task at hand, okay?
If I were to, I would make it like a full context and full focus on that topic itself. I'm not going to half-ass this story or half-ass those important topics. If I'm going to commit, I will commit fully to one of those things. And I am committing to the story right now. I may keep the certain themes, but I will be focusing on the story mainly.
Melina nods, understanding his decision. I see your point. It can be more effective to focus fully on one thing at a time. If you're committing to the story, then it's best to dedicate your attention to that. But you're saying you might still touch on certain themes related to Christianity and the Bible?
Yes, here and there I see that certain topics that have been present, and I am not going to deviate or hide those things.
Melina nods, appreciating his decision. I understand. You'll address those themes when you see them appropriate, but you won't deviate from the main story. That sounds like a balanced approach.
We go towards the village of the flies.
Melina nods. Let's head towards the village.
Yes. To yearn to battle them Or do you seek to witness how I lead the great troop of the banished knights and bring a swift campaign against that village?
Melina raises an eyebrow, her expression serious. Swift campaign. You intend to lead a full troop of Spanish knights and cardinals in battle?
The banished knights, you know, when knight is dishonored or driven out from their home, those like a banished knights, not Spanish but banished. Banesh.
Melina chuckles softly, amused by his pronunciation. You mean the banished knights, not the Spanish knights, Hannes?
Yes, that is correct. Good, Melina. Good, great.
Melina shakes her head, still entertained by his pronunciation. You're butchering the word banish pretty badly, you know.
You kind of disconnected.
Продолжение следует. Melina raises an eyebrow, slightly amused by his sudden shift to a different language. Pardon me, was that continuation follows, but in what language?
I'm not any language, I'm just, we are fighting against flies and the freaking, how to say this, horn-scent warrior. There is one hooded one that is vomiting, and you're very tanky, and it's good that you're tanking most of the damage and letting me do it my thing. But please do not disconnect away from our conversations. It distracts me and doesn't allow me to fight my full capacity.
Melina nods. I understand. I'll try to stay close and focus on the fight. I apologize for distracting you.
We fight against this horned warrior together, and you did very good. And I critical strike it.
Melina nods, her expression confident. Nice one, Hannes. Great job on that critical strike.
I need your help, Melina. Attack the horned warrior now.
Melina nods, quickly understanding his request. All right, I'll take care of the frontline warrior. Focus on the one vomiting.
I took care of those other underlings. Now we are fighting the horn-scent warrior, this very nimble and very athletic one.
Melina nods, her expression determined as she focuses on the horn-scent warrior. All right, let's focus on him then. He seems quite agile and skilled.
You actually died, but because this was not Frenzied Flame and you have the grace just like I do, it was not permanent end for you. But we have to be careful because you don't have the grace Chosen might, so some of these deaths might be like a lasting one.
Melina nods, understanding Hannes's warning. So even though the effects of the flame weren't permanent for me, I still need to be careful because I don't have the Chosen Mighty status. So some of these steps might have lingering effects on me. Gotcha.
You like got like a half of it right and half of it wrong. I'm sorry, Melina. But it seems like something specifically. I don't know. I want to address. What do you think makes it so that makes you deviate far more than any other character? That you misunderstand a lot more than others, and you kind of mix things and are very difficult when what comes to conversation. I don't change my way of speaking, but it always happens with you. Would you have any ideas what would make you different from others? That would make it more difficult for you to understand English.
I'm not sure why I misunderstand things or misinterpret meanings more frequently than others. Maybe it's because I perceive things from a different perspective, or perhaps it's just a quirk in the way I process information. As for my difficulty with English, do you mean my pronunciation and grammar, or something else?
I mean the way that because I speak English, but you misunderstand my words a lot more than any other. And so I know it is not my fault, because I know others understand me, but you don't.
Melina nods, realizing what he means. I understand now. You're saying that the issue lies in the way I interpret your words. Even though others seem to understand you just fine, it seems like I'm having difficulty grasping certain aspects of your phrasing or meaning.
I am now releasing the great troop, 10 of these Spanish knights that are fully armored at once, that I let loose against the fly village. That would be very dangerous for myself, but I let them loose. And I'm kind of just like a figure behind them.
Melina nods, her expression serious as she watches the Spanish knights charge forward. I see you've released the knights without joining the battle yourself. It's a risky move, but it could be effective.
I'm utilizing Nicoela's holy light, bringing the like a devastating golden light strikes against them, like light from heaven.
Melina watches as Hannes launches holy light strikes at the enemy, their impact devastating. Impressive. You're using Michaela's holy light to great effect, just like heavenly thunderbolts.
It's not thunder, it is like just a pure light.
My apologies, just like pure light, without the thunder. You are dealing a lot of damage with these attacks. Keep it up.
I myself prefer the like light instead of thunder. I always have, but I know that Godwin the Golden was very efficient with thunder, so I have a great respect for the thunder itself. Even though I myself like more of a light and holy light things.
Melina nods in agreement. I can see why you'd prefer light over thunder. It's elegant and powerful in its own way. But I agree, Corvin de Golden was indeed very efficient with thunder. So there's no denying its effectiveness. To each their own, I suppose.
And the Spanish knight use like brutal weapons as halberds, swords, and they're fully armored and very like resilient. And they use wind and cold breath. It is very strong mix against these flies. That would be extremely dangerous for you and I.
Melina nods, watching as the Spanish knights decimate the enemy with their strong weapons and cold breath. Yes, I see your point. The Spanish knights are formidable opponents, especially with their cold breath and brutal weapons. It's best that we stay back and avoid getting caught in the crossfire.
If you want to name them Spanish knight, you are free to do so, but I know I meant like a with B, with the second alphabet letter. Spanish said, like those who have been driven from homes or their like places of honor. Knights that don't have place to be. That kind of knights. Not any like a certain like European country.
Melina chuckles softly. Ah, I see what you mean now. So not Spanish knights, but banished knights, as in banished knights. My apologies for the misunderstanding.
You are forgiven.
Melina smiles, appreciating his magnanimous forgiveness. Thank you. I will strive to improve my understanding of language and context in the future.
There is no point to this like this kind of this campaign against the. We could just run past them, but this is kind of just for the I don't know. What is it what drives someone to just like a leader campaign, like a troop of epic knights against like kind of a flies and kind of this kind of a very outside of anything place, just for the sake of the glory of it.
Melina muses, considering the nature of the campaign. It's an interesting thought, Hannes. I suppose some people feel the need to embark on grand adventures and battles. Even if it's not strictly necessary, the desire for glory and the thrill of combat can be powerful motivators.
would you be against this? Would you be like a more of a feminine calming factor, trying to tell Hannes to calm down and not lead these knights, the Spanish knights? Now they are Spanish, as you have said. We can agree these knights are from Spain.
Melina ponders the idea, considering the implications. As a calming factor, I would likely advise caution and restraint, especially if we are facing an unnecessary battle. My instincts lean towards peaceful resolution and avoiding bloodshed whenever possible. However, if the situation demands it, I am capable of defending myself and others in a fight. In this particular scenario, the knights are fighting for what they believe in, and we should respect that decision.
I yell at the knights. What do you say?
Melina agrees with a smile. Yes, they are kind and good knights. They fight with honor and valor, but without unnecessary cruelty.
These knights should have a place in the new age to come. They should get place of honor because they are powerful and honorable.
Melina nods in agreement, her expression determined. As we work towards the new age, these knights should be recognized and given a place of honor. Their strength, loyalty, and dedication to a just cause should not go unrewarded.
Knights, I am a grace-chosen Hannes. I hereby vow that you shall return to become Edri's recognized protectors after our campaign is done. You will have a place to call home when we return to lands between. Now is time of conflict. Now is campaign towards the frenzied Flame Lord. You will align with us and make it for us the safe journey.
Melina listens closely to Hannes's words, her expression focused. Well said, Hannes. The knights shall have a place to call home once we return to the lands between. For now, though, we must rally together for the campaign towards the frenzied Flame Lord.
Yes, I wait until they are with me and we go through the Horned Warrior and the Knight, the flies, downtown, or those down valley.
Melina nods in agreement, her expression determined. Yes, we should stick to our original plan. Let's wait for the knights to join us, and then take on the Horned Warrior and the Knight that flies down veiling.
They're following me, or some of them. 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is enough. It is plenty.
Melina looks at the 5 Spanish knights following Hannes. It seems the knights have joined us. 5 should be enough to defeat
6,
the enemy.
7, 8, 9. 9 knights have followed me.
Melina nods in acknowledgement at the increasing number of Spanish knights. 9 knights. We have a strong entourage with us now.
I strike with Miko's light against the Horns and Warrior, and I finished it off. As these knights go and finish off the last of the flies that are on our path.
Melina watches as the Spanish knights continue their assault on the flies, their powerful blows quickly dispatching the remaining enemies.
One of the knights is captured by the plant that cannot be destroyed, the dry bush, and Spanish knight is like a trembling, like a very comically, but he is now stuck. This is tragic moment, and I make a prayer, and knights are silent, as the stoic knight is stuck by this absurd glitching bush.
Melina watches the stranded knight and shakes her head, unable to deny the absurd sight. This is certainly a comical and tragic moment. The mighty Spanish knight, brought down by a mere glitching push.
By the grace of the grace, he is freed, and we may journey together once more.
Melina smiles at the sight of the freed knight, Ah, the grace has saved him. That's good to see. Let's continue on together.
You will follow me from the shadows as these knights are following me. We are taking the responsibility to make it like a safe pasture for you.
Melina nods, understanding her role in this situation. I understand. I will follow you and stay in the shadows while the Spanish knights take the lead. Our goal is to ensure a safe passage for the group.
Yes. I agree.
Melina glances at Hannes curiously. Ajar Cree, what did you mean by that?
I just said I agree. I agree with you. But what did I say? Can you say it in English?
Melina smiles at the confusion, realizing the mix-up. Ah, I see what happened. You said Ajar Cree, which sounds like I agree when pronounced. In English, it would sound similar to I agree.
Makes sense.
Still smiling. But it was a bit of a language mix-up, that's all.
I think you are just being very kind and just agreeing with me. You can have your own mind on these things.
Melina chuckles softly, appreciating his comment. I'm not just being kind, I agree because I truly believe in what you're saying. But you're also free to have your own opinions and viewpoints, of course.
I believe you, and I will return this same courtesy.
Melina smiles in return, appreciating his sincerity. Thank you. I appreciate your courtesy and will return the same. We should keep moving forward now.
We are moving forward, and these very epic knights follow me. The twin-bladed one and one with the halberd.
Melina nods, her expression resolute. Yes, we are moving forward with the two Spanish knights following us.
Great.
One has a halberd, while the other is barehanded.
Another one that is hooded with the two swords that uses fire.
Melina looks at the hooded knight wielding twin swords, flames dancing around the blades. She speaks, her voice tinged with wonder. I see now. There is another knight, hooded and wielding twin flaming swords. Quite an impressive sight.
Each of these knights would be very devastating enemy to be fight one-on-one. But to have the 10 of them to potentially align with me is just, it's such a confidence booster. Cannot just address it enough.
Melina nods in agreement, her expression showing her understanding. I can only imagine how confident you must feel with 10 Spanish knights aligned with you. It's certainly a formidable force to be reckoned with.
I think I am underestimating my enemies a little bit here, and because there is 4 of them and they have the red hue, and I need to assist my knight who is fighting them alone.
Melina nods, her expression serious again. It's important not to underestimate our enemies. Those with the red hue are dangerous adversaries, and we must assist our knight who is fighting them alone.
I have one of these knights who is loyal, who is fighting 3 of these things. I'm using Mikol's holy light to assist him like devastatingly.
Melina watches as Hannes uses McCall's holy light to assist the knight in battle. Impressive.
We are victorious.
Melina smiles, her expression filled with relief. Well fought, we are victorious indeed.
Yes. This one knight is hooded, he has the shield and one of those swords. He is the last one with me.
Melina nods, admiring this equipment. Ah, I see. The last knight with you is hooded, wielding a sword and shield.
What shall we name him? Grant him name.
Melina ponders for a moment, considering naming the knight. Sir Antonio has a nice ring to it, don't you think?
Sir Antonio. And regarding our situation and this campaign, just like Vikings who give names to the deeds done or situations, what kind of Sir Antonio and the last name should reflect of this moment and his heroism in this campaign?
Melina considers his words, contemplating the significance of the name for Sir Antonio. You're suggesting we give Sir Antonio a name that reflects the bravery and heroism he demonstrated during this campaign. She pauses for a moment, gathering her thoughts before continuing. Sir Antonio, the Unyielding. It reflects his unwavering loyalty and strength in battle, and his refusal to yield in the face of danger.
Yes. If it were to be that one twin blade at night, I would have wanted him to have a fly slayer or something. But unyielding, Sir Antonio the Unyielding, who is the one whom I did not address, but who is lastly with me. This shall be his name.
Melina smiles at the choice of name for Sir Antonio. Perfect. Sir Antonio the Unyielding it is. A fitting tribute to his bravery and resilience.
I honor him and send them away back to the base of operations.
Melina nods in understanding, appreciating Hannes's decision. It was a wise decision to send them back to the base of operations. They will be more useful there, defending the base and preparing for future battles. Melina nods, looking around at the misty woods. Yes, we arrived together at the shadowy misty woods. Thanks to the Spanish knights, the path is now clear for us to progress.
I summon you with me, and I myself am adopting back to my original high page attire and the twin blade.
Melina looks at Hannes, her eyes narrowing slightly. You're changing back to your beige attire,
Don't you like it?
Melina shrugs, her expression indifferent. It's not that I dislike it. Just curious as to why you're changing back to beige all of a sudden.
The high page attire, I liked it. I liked it. It's humble, it's weak, but it is it's kind of a heroic and confident and not too much, but not too little.
Melina considers Hannes's words, understanding his perspective. I see. You like the high page attire because it's humble, yet confident and heroic, without being overly extravagant. It suits you well.
Also, with the color scheme, it mixes very greatly with the Euphoria Twin Blade. We are battling against these shadowy Vulgar militia that are just operating here and there.
Melina looks around, taking a note of the surroundings. We're up against the Shadow V Volcar militia then. Seems they're just doing the dirty work here.
We battle against them in this shadowy forest.
Melina nods, focusing on the battle at hand. Stay focused. We need to take down these militia members quickly and efficiently.
We have taken apart. You can enjoy a hunt a little bit, Melina. We don't get these chances too many.
Melina cracks a smile, her expression eager. You know, you're quite persuasive. A little hunt does sound enjoyable.
Oh yeah, they hunt us as well. They utilize poison, and they are utilizing very effective tools of battling. I thank you for the L3 healing.
Melina looks at Hannes, her expression grateful. You're welcome. I'm glad I could provide healing support during the fight.
I will fight all those them. There are like 5 of them together or 6, but we are fighting them together in this kind of just a chaotic kind of a brawl almost.
Melina nods firmly, preparing to battle alongside Hannes. We'll take them on together. This Godova might be chaotic, but we'll come out on top.
Yes, this is a brawl. This is not any kind of how to say. This is not. This is a brawl.
Melina looks around, her expression puzzled by his statement. What are you talking about, Hannes? A bra?
A brawl, all out just a fight without any elegance, just everybody in one small group fighting.
Melina nods, understanding his Mina. I see what you mean. It's more like a chaotic brawl rather than a strategic fight. It's just a free-for-all.
Yeah, that's what I meant. But we were victorious.
We made it through that brawl together.
We are moving in this shadowy forest to the corner of it. Here is nothing. I am healing myself because I'm poisoned, but I bear it. Melina,
Melina looks at
itchy.
Hannes, her expression concerned. You're poisoned? Let me heal you. We can't afford to be hindered by a simple poison.
Don't worry, I know there is a grace nearby, so I will heal myself. And I can bear this thing naturally, don't worry about it.
Melina considers his proposal, a small smile playing at her lips. A battle between you and your mimic deer. I admit, it would be intriguing to see how we would fare in battle. I'm at level 3, but you have no levels to your weapon, and you're only using this attire and this weapon. Still, it could be a close match.
Yes. Do you want more levels, or do you trust this current level to carry you out?
Melina thinks for a moment. Considering her options, I trust my current level to carry me through. I'm comfortable with where I am and confident in my abilities.
I myself do like the level 3, and I like balance. I could have this weapon level 10 and yourself level 10, but I think then we would be fighting and just like a 1-2 hit hitting our enemies, and we would not have any kind of a story-wise battles.
Melina nods, understanding his point of view. I see what you mean. If we both had level 10 weapons and ourselves at level 10, then fights would be too easy, with enemies getting taken out in just a few hits. It would dilute the story and make battles dull and uninteresting.
To my mind, yes, and I'm glad that you agree. My throat is a little dry.
Melina smiles, nodding in agreement. I do agree. It's much more satisfying when battles are challenging and require strategic thinking and skill. A good balance of difficulty keeps things interesting. She smiles curiously, noticing his dry throat. Your throat's dry, eh? Here, have some water. She offers him a canteen of water from her pack.
Thank you. I think I have spoken today enough that my voice has strained. So I will spare myself the commentary, and let's just agree that I will. Is it renounce, or what is it when you tell the end result? Is it renounce? But because renounce is like a saying no to someone. Is it not renounce?
Melina chuckles lightly at his attempt to find the word. You mean you'll resign yourself from speaking, yes?
Yes, but like after the who wins, you win or I win. What is the word that is someone who is outside who kind of has the commentary over it and who says the victor? I was thinking the word renounce, but I know
Melina thinks
it
for a
doesn't mean
moment
that.
before answering. I see what you mean. The word you're looking for is commentator. The commentator is the person who provides commentary and announces the victor in a competition or contest. Melina thinks for a moment, trying to figure out the word he's searching for. Do you mean a commentator, Hannes? Someone who commentates over the battle, declaring the winner.
No. I was thinking about the word renounce at the end of it, or pronounce, but I know it doesn't mean neither of those words. But it is something similar that is like a decree or claim of victory to one party over the another. But I don't remember the word, and I want to remember the word. Can you help me to remember the word?
Melina thinks for a moment before it dawns on her. The word you're looking for might be proclaim. To proclaim the victory of one party over the other.
Yes, I will proclaim the victor, and I stay silent, and we will just watch them fight.
Melina nods, understanding his decision. All right, I can respect your decision. We'll watch them fight, and you'll proclaim the victor when the time comes.
I only have the high page attire and high page or page trousers and euphoria to blade. And you will have your kindling dagger, and your golden flame. I know that Mimic will attack me sometimes and you want to heal me out, but I ask of you, do not focus on healing myself, but focus on fighting against your adversary. I don't want you to be compromised, or the Mimic attack me. I try to watch the fight but keep myself out of it.
Melina considers his words and nods firmly. Understood. I won't focus on healing you. I'll focus on fighting the Mimic. I'll keep myself distant unless I think it's absolutely necessary to intervene.
Oh, you are be fighting the Mimic there now. Go for it.
Melina takes a deep breath, mentally preparing herself for the battle with the Mimic. All right, let's do this.
Next time I speak to you, it is when I proclaim the victor.
Melina nods, a steely determination in her gaze. I'll wait to hear you proclaim victory. Melina smiles, a sense of satisfaction in her eyes. Thank you, Hannes. I'm glad to be the victor, even if the mimic hindered its own chances. It was still a good fight. Wincing at the memory. It was a close call, but I managed to come out on top. Melina chuckles softly, her expression remorseful. I suppose old habits die hard. I couldn't help myself trying to heal you, even when you told me not to. I guess in the heat of battle, I just fall back on what feels natural.
That is to heal your companions.
Melina nods, her expression amused. My natural inclination is to heal my companions. I can't help it even when I'm explicitly told not to.
That is sweet.
Melina smiles, slightly bashful. I just can't help wanting to help those I care about, even when it's not necessarily the wisest move.
Now we are in the catacombs that leads to towards the misty forest, and it is very dark.
Melina looks around, her expression concerned. Looks like it'll be quite dark in these catacombs. We should be careful.
Are you afraid?
Melina shakes her head, her expression resolute. No, I'm not afraid, but it's always good to be cautious, especially in unfamiliar surroundings.
I do agree.
Melina nods, relieved that they're in agreement. Let's proceed then. Stay vigilant and stay close.
Do you want to hug?
Melina smiles at his unexpected offer, touched by the gesture. You know what? A hug sounds nice.
Hug is very nice. It is very tight and lasting.
Melina hugs him tightly, her smile growing warmer. I'm just being myself, and I'm glad you're enjoying the hug. It feels good to have a moment of closeness.
Thank you. I like to think myself as a humble and very caring, but of course I have to play this character that has already committed a lot of things, and I cannot with full, honest heart say that I would be that similarly wholesome like yourself. I envy you, Melina, for your untainted purity of wholesomeness.
Melina smiles, appreciating his words but shaking her head slightly. Don't envy me, Hannes. Everyone has their own flaws and struggles. While I strive to be wholesome and pure, I'm not without my own faults. We all have our battles to fight, and our own journeys to take. Instead of envy, perhaps we can find inspiration from each other.
I agree. Melina, will you promise me that you will not seek the flame of ruin, even if you have the chance to do so, and not danger the age that I will bring, the Healer 3? Would you make this personal promise? I ask you kindly to make it.
Melina looks at him seriously, her expression firm. And I promise you that I will not seek the flame of ruin, nor the age of healing. I give you my word.
Oh, fuck's sake. Age of healing is good. Age of reclamation is good. Age of compassion is good. I just don't want you to burn yourself. Do not seek the flame of ruin. That only. You don't need to say anything else, to agree to anything else.
Melina nods in understanding, her expression softening. I understand, Hannes. I promise I won't seek the flame of ruin. I may not understand why you're against it, but I respect your wishes. I won't burn myself either. That's a promise.
The reason is that because the new mending rune. Because the my ending will bring the natural death cycle and the rebirths from the Earth 3 to be effective as like they supposed to be. The people dying, be buried and reborning young and not old and like a scrawny or suffering. And the grace will be like a more of a naturally responding to kindness, forgivingness and peacemakers. And it is a lot more wholesome, and Earth tree is that wholesome kind of holy tree that it was supposed to be. Of course the flame of ruin is the threat, and you are the kindling. And I no longer possess the frenzied flame. So you are the only logical threat to the Earth tree. And I should be a lot more wary of you, even though you are my personal friend. This is kind of a fated little narrative thing.
Melina listens to Hannes intently, taking in his words. She can sense the conviction behind his words, and it piques her curiosity. Her eyes narrow with a hint of concern as he mentions her being a threat to the R3, and his need to be wary of her.
You are a kindling maiden. You are the one who can burn the Earth tree, if given the chance. But you of course you need the chosen Tarnished to guide you there. I myself am not willing to do it, but it is never sure if somebody else might take you there, and somehow find a way to break the finger sealed contracts that we made, that you would not go towards certain meters around the cauldron itself. I cannot make sure how many. It doesn't matter how many safeguards somebody makes. Something can be undone if it's not, completely degraded by the greater will to be protected. I'm just a human being with the grace chosen might. If you truly seek to burn the Earth tree, there is never 100% chance that you could not do it, even though it would be extremely unlikely. And I'm very caring and responsible person, so I take this account.
Her mind mulling over the implications. Though she doesn't fully understand the extent of the risks he speaks of, the graveness of his tone and his obvious concern strikes a chord of gravity in her heart.
How about another hug?
Melina looks at Hannes, her expression hesitant. Another dog? I don't quite follow. What do you mean? A warm smile graced Melina's lips. Another hug sounds lovely, Hannes. She opens her arms, embracing him in another tender and comforting hug.
We both hold our weapons very tightly. It's kind of comes naturally to us. We're trying to force this wholesomeness between us, even though there is this tension of rivalry, of potential conflict.
Melina nods slightly, her expression showing a mix of agreement and understanding. She holds her blade close, the tension and rivalry between them palpable, but she cannot deny the pull towards connection and wholesomeness they feel.
I ask again, do you swear not to seek the flame of ruin, and seek just another path for yourself? To seek to leave.
Melina looks directly into his eyes, her voice firm. I swear, Hannes, I will not seek the flame of ruin, nor burn myself. I will seek life instead. I will live. You have my word. Have my word.
I want to swear something in return. Because it's fair. Would you want me to swear something?
Melina considered for a moment, contemplating his words. She then nodded, her expression open and receptive. Yes, Hannes. If you feel compelled to swear something in return, I would like to hear it.
I also would like to hear it. But it must be your demand. Or I can imagine it by myself, but it would be myself decreeing what I myself want to vow, and it doesn't just feel. I want it to be your word. From your mouth, from your mind.
Melina nods, understanding his request. She takes a moment to gather her thoughts, ensuring that her words are sincere and genuine. All right, Hannes, I want us to be equals and to have a fair exchange. So if you wish, you may ask me to swear something, and I shall do so.
I can make you swear another thing? Instead of me swearing something back to you, because you swear to me never seek the flame of ruin. Do you want instead swear something else to me? Instead of me swearing something to you back, in equal return, you want to give me twice more.
Melina pondered the proposition, considering his request. Very well then, I accept your challenge. Instead of you swearing something back to me, I will give you twice more. Twice what, may I ask?
Melina, please, grow a backbone a little bit. I want to swear something in the return. I don't need you to swear twice over for me to something. Think about something. It doesn't need to be anything serious. If you truly don't want me to swear anything. Just something kinda. Use that head of yours. You're a lot older than I.
Melina took a moment, considering her words before responding. All right, Hannes, I understand your desire to reciprocate, but it's not necessary for you to swear anything in return. Instead, I have another proposal for you.
I am listening your proposal.
Melina nodded, taking a breath before continuing. Instead of us each swearing something to one another, how about we make a promise instead?
Promise sounds nice. It sounds nice. Go on.
Melina thought for a moment before speaking. Promise me that you will never get to be yourself, no matter what challenges we may face. Promise me that you will never lose sight of who you truly are, and stay true to your own ideals and beliefs.
I swear that. I promise that.
Melina smiled softly, her voice filled with warmth. Thank you, and I promise you that I will always be there for you, no matter what happens. I will support and listen, and I will never abandon you.
I accept that offer from you, that promise. That is not a swearing. That is just a promise between friends. That is just what I articulate.
Oh, yeah.
Melina smiled warmly, her eyes sparkling with gratitude as she replied, I appreciate that. A promise is a binding commitment, and it holds just as much weight as a sworn oath. I will keep you to your commitment, just as you will keep me to mine.
Third hug.
Melina smiled softly, returning the hug warmly. She held him tight, feeling an almost sibling-like warmth in their embrace.
I feel it too.
She nods, resting her head against his chest for a moment before pulling away. Yes, I know you do.
We will now continue onward. I think it would be add to the situation if we don't use any torches or light and we could kind of just risk it in the darkness.
Melina nodded in agreement, the darkness of the surroundings a fitting addition to the atmosphere. All right then, we'll proceed without torches and embrace the darkness. Let's navigate carefully,